フルカウンター。
Alright boys, so the Attack on Titan Part 2 collaboration is longly overdue, and with the release of the new season today, I believe it is, I kind of want to talk about and go over how they can actually fix a lot of the characters in this collaboration, because this was the last collab where they realized we actually can make the collab characters good. And like the Slime collaboration, these old characters will likely receive a buff, but maybe not too big buffs, because we know from the actual Regions leak on the beta app, they are planning a new Eren and also Mikasa. Things can change, but I think the almost guaranteed part here is that we are going to be getting new Eren. Now, whether that's just Titan form Eren base, he's just always in his Titan form, or if it's a new transforming character, or some sort of new gimmick we haven't seen in the game yet, that we have to wait and see. But I feel like with this character being the first transforming character, he can be quite unique, and we're going to go over how to fix the character, because as it is right now, very, very bad. Alright, let's go over how to fix Eren. Now, we're not going to talk about the SR one, because we saw in the Slime collaboration, they actually buffed up the old Rimuru, but not the Slime one. So, we're likely not going to get anything for SR Eren, and instead get all the attention towards the SSR ones, and obviously starting off with Titan form Eren. Skill 1, can stay the exact same. It's a pretty good skill, right? It's a rush ultimate. The damage isn't bad. It's an okay skill. The second skill though, we have some problems. We're long past the point now where you can consistently get rank ups. Normally in a lot of games now, you don't normally use a rank up go first, so to get tier 2s and tier 3s, it's quite a rare thing. So a lot of characters have to have a lot of value on a tier 1 skill. So debuff skills that do nothing on a tier 1, very, very bad. So what I thought they should do, and I just thought about it right now, but they should make it so it's kind of similar towards Millen, but probably a bit better to be fair, because Millen does a single target. But drain on a tier 1, so the exact same as the go for Pumpkin Bomb, but if you do get to tier 2, you're also going to drain and also disable ultimate. So it's the exact same skill, but it now drains and also does something on a tier 1, so make it way more usable. The passive, this is a passive that is a common thing in Grand Cross. When you get increased stats by filling up your ultimate gauge, normally when you do max out, and we've seen this on Hauser, Greenmore and Gil from this actual relic, when they max out the ultimate gauge, they increase it by an X amount. So right now, what I think they should do is every single time you increase your ultimate gauge, it increases by 10 like how it normally is, but when you do get to max orb gauge, you then increase it by 50%. So rather than a 50% damage increase, you now have 100. And now granted, Eren's normally transforming when he is max orb gauge, but on the off chance that you actually somehow need to attack or disable ultimate gauge, at least you're now going to have a 100% damage increase. Alright, so the ultimate basically increases all of its stats by 35%, but they are individual buffs, so you get more buffs from Amplify. But what I think you should do, increase it to 40%, make it a bit more, round up basically, makes it does a bit more, because I suspect if they don't do it, they need to increase all the stats of the AOT characters. So if they don't do that, then we need to increase this higher, because it needs to get a lot more. But if they do increase the stats, then 35% still might be high enough, so maybe that's fine, but might as well round off. But rather than decreasing attack rate stats, what you should do is decrease all stats so they are more easy to kill, and also make it a grade debuff. Maybe limit that to when you get higher deep levels. Maybe at 6-6 it turns to a grade debuff, because True Magic Melee can just obviously remove it basically. Also, this wouldn't work on Mayel on the Goddess team, so it won't be like the crazy debuff, but I think an all stat lower against like the other characters that would get affected by it would definitely be better than attack rate stats, and also make it 2 turns. How is it a 1-turn debuff? Mind boggles me, but yeah, 1 turn is not enough, so make it to a 2 turn. And then also to add it on, maybe they put this at 6-6, give him the Margaret debuff, so when you obviously do transform, you are going to disable all of their skill effects for 2 turns, and also decrease damage dealt by ultimates by 30%, because remember, when the character transforms, they can just rush ultimate and just win the game, right? So at least at that point, the ultimate skill effects aren't going to work, and also they're going to get decreased damage dealt, so you might actually survive it. Like I said, maybe this is not enough, but I do feel like this might be a bit more better, a step in the right direction to make transforming character a lot better, because as it is right now, you'd rather just ult with the top tier characters and win the game. But I will say, we did see with Blue Greenmore, may he rest in peace, that using the ultimate to buff up and do crazy damage actually can work. Alright, so I have come up with a relic for him, and this is only for Eren that I've done, because I don't know what I can do with the other ones, but Eren makes a bit more sense towards me. But at the start of the turn or battle, increase your ultimate gauge by 3, so very similar towards Green Liz, so this will help him actually transform a lot faster, because once again, it's Titan form Eren. We don't hardly see a Titan form. This will make him so he can transform a lot easier, and also make it so you can actually, for example, drain turn 1, and then do a single target damage and get ultimate straight away in turn 1. And also because I imagine the Holy Relic would also be the same for when he's actually in his Titan form. What I decided to do, because he does have a single target ultimate, is when he does kill an enemy, he is going to take their orbs and also put it onto himself. So literally the exact same as Green Doom Melee. A really unique passive that we're yet to see in the game ever come back. And once again, it'll be good to get on a good DPS. But when he transforms, there's still a lot of problems because the character is still really, really bad. So the first skill can stay the same. Amplify, we've seen it's a good damage skill. It's alright. But then he has Drain. And remember, this is at a time where Drains was somewhat useful, but now it's not so much. So what I decided to do is spice it up a little bit, because they did plan to give this to actual Demon Lord Rimuru on the beta app. And essentially what it is, when you drain the character, you're also going to take the orbs, which will, one, help the character get orbs faster, because remember, to ult, you have to get 10 orbs, so it's quite a lot, right? So if he actually able to AoE drain and takes the orbs, that's up to 3 orbs they can take, and you can get ultimate very, very fast. So that will make the character a lot better, and you'll actually be able to use the ultimate. The only time you can ever really use his ultimate is on an attack shield team where you stall for like 10 turns. So if Netmarble really wants us to see this really cool ultimate, then they should definitely probably buff that up so it does actually get the orbs. And maybe he's getting ultimate too fast. He might get ultimate every 2 or 3 turns, right? And that might be a bit too much. So maybe they won't buff the ultimate, because to be fair, the ultimate is actually fine and it's quite high multiplier. But to make it a bit more special, why not give it death damage? The guy is green and we're yet to get a green death damage character, and maybe he might be the one. Once again, I don't see this happening, but if the character is 6'6", he should get some sort of special effect. Sever, something to make it do more damage, but death damage will be broken. And once again, I'll love to see it, because once again, you have to get 10 orbs to deal 1 single target damage. It should definitely be AoE, so maybe Abyss, maybe some sort of death damage, so we can deal damage towards the other characters. That'll be my go-to strat. And then finally, Titan's Roar or Titan's Squeak. Like, what does passive even do? But what I think you should do to make the character get more buffs from Amplify, because remember, the guy is an Amplify buff character. I would love for Eren to get something similar towards obviously Rem's passive, or even Million's Holy Relic, where every time you increase your ultimate gauge you get 1 little buff. That's really, really good for Amplify characters. So why not? Because they can give him the exact same passive, but rather attack rate stats, because that might be a bit too broken. Give him HP, because the guy, the Titan, is a giant, right? He should be a bit more tanky. So if he has more HP rate stats, that's going to make him more tankier and make him survive, so he actually can deal more damage. And because they really need to do this, at the bottom, make it so the character is immune to buff removals. I know it sounds stupid, buff removals are kind of a unique skill, and the only meta character right now that has it is Chandler. But really though, like, Eren transforming and getting buff removed is absolutely terrible. Like, this should not be a thing, so they did make it so you can't buff remove. But also, because Demon Estarossa is still relevant in a way, his actual commandment cucks Amplify characters a lot here, so that'll make it so he actually is unaffected by that commandment. Which, I mean, once again, you're transforming, right? You should get some priorities and get some special mechanics. So that, I think, will work perfect for him. So yeah, boys, that is how I'll fix Eren. Is it enough? Maybe. But would he actually do it? I'm not entirely too sure, because like I said, we are getting new Eren. And like how we saw Demon Lord Rimuru, they rather just sell us a new shiny character, a newer character with actual good stats and good skills and good CC, rather than buff an old one. But since I have the character 6'6", at least if he gets good enough to be usable in PvE content, I actually wouldn't mind. So hopefully we do see some buffs towards him, because for being the first transforming character, yeah, he needs a lot of love. Alright, so Mikasa, don't have that many improvements for her, because once again, she don't transform, right? She don't have like 5 different skills, and her skills, granted, only one of them are a bit unique here. So this is what I'll do with the character. The poison skill, it's not that great on her because her stats are terrible and she don't have a Holy Relic, but we saw the new Valentine's King have this skill and actually be really, really good. So the skill is not the bad part, it's the character's kit. So if they buff her up by giving her more stats and obviously give her a relic, that might make the skill even better. But as it is right now, this can stay the same. It's universal on every character that has a bleed skill. However, this is a skill only she has in the game, and that is secret technique, but on an active skill and not the ultimate. And once again, I feel like what you should do here is increase the multiplier for the skill, because AoE 80% is really, really low. So like, I think once again, just increase it by like what, 50%, 200 here, and like 120 on the tier 1, just to make the skill do actually more damage, because this is really, really low multiplier for an AoE skill. But also as well, when you do get Lost Fane and also Mono who have secret technique ultimates, when you do get towards 6-6 or even increase the ultimate level, you do increase the secret technique multiplier up to 60%. And as it is right now, there's no way to increase the secret technique multiplier. It's always 20%, which is really low. So why not, to keep it consistent, give the actual secret technique additional damage up to 60% per skill? Because bear in mind, right, you can only like 6 skills, and normally you have maybe like 2 or 3 skills if you're lucky. So to 20% damage increase, it ain't too high. So if it was 60% and you have 2 or 3 skills, it would be around 180, which is kind of what Mayo gets on a single target. The ultimate is kind of fine, but once again, the character's damage is kind of low. She is quite tanky even now, but I feel like they can do a bit better and kind of give her like an echidna treatment to where you increase your base stats and damage dealt by 35%. Once again, make her ultimate do even more damage, because why not, right? Alright, so a passive is actually a pretty good one, right? It's not, I mean, it's a bit outdated now, but they should do what they did with the slime characters, and I'm expecting them to do this, to be fair, and that is to limit it down to 5 so she gets it even faster and increase the multiplier. I feel like they might just increase the 6, so her passive is basically the same but max out faster, but I think because her stats are really low to begin with, and to keep her updated with current meta, increase it to 10% so she gets 50% max increase all stats. From 30% to 50%, the extra 20% will make a world of a difference and make her even better. She obviously would get Relic, but I don't know what it can give to us, so I'm going to leave it as that. We'll let you look, comment down below if you want to. For Mikasa, we do know it's possible that she might be getting a new version, and at that point, that means this Mikasa might get shafted completely. But in case the beta app is wrong and we get someone like Armin, for example, then that means hopefully they do buff up this Mikasa a lot more, so she is obviously the main character. But if we are getting a new Mikasa, then they might not buff this one up too much here, so we have to wait and see. But I do like this character. I actually enjoyed her the most out of the actual AOT collaboration the first time she came out. But yeah, she needs a bit more love. Like AoE skill needs to get increased. Ultimate can be fine, but a bit more damage would be nice too. And to make this passive max out faster, it'll be even better. Alright, Levi, I have actually never used him in PvP. Have I used him? I think I maybe once or twice, actually. I'm not too sure. But this one was quite unique in a little bit because you can guarantee crits here. Now, the skills are the exact same for many other characters, so they don't need to be increased there. They're not bad skills. It's just the character is bad, right? And the ultimate, we can start off with a good one. So basically, at 6-6, gain spike. Simple as that, right? Because, I mean, the Kai is a crit character, and this ultimate isn't really a damage skill ultimate, and probably won't kill, but once again, make it so it's a bit more special, give it spike, so there's a reason that actually 6-6 the character, and it'll probably make Netmob a bit more money, because you want to get a 6-6, right? Alright, so this passive does make it so you're guaranteed to crit every single time you use a skill, but on the lowest HP character. And yeah, it's not great. And remember, the character has Spike and also Despair. Despair means he heals every single time he crits on someone, but his crit chance, which I can see right below me, is 15%, maybe a bit higher when he is SA5 or SA6. But for someone who's meant to crit, very, very low crit chance. So to make the passive a bit more better is to make it so when he attacks the 2 enemies with the lowest HP, he guarantees a crit. So it basically means the enemy with the highest HP, he cannot crit, but the 2 other enemies he can. And if it is 44, he can crit all 3 of them. But that will make it so he can crit 2 people with the Spike skill, and also make it so his actual Despair skill is doing critting 2 people, which means he will heal a lot of the damage, right? Because critting 1 person, I mean, is more than what you can say about most characters with this skill, but it should be a bit better. But yeah, that is it for Levi. Once again, he would have a relic. I'm not entirely too sure what he can give him. If anything, the character does need more, obviously, critical damage. Because the character can crit, they actually made his crit damage so low. But if anything, give him something like Millen's passive, I guess, where he just gets more crit damage for whatever reason. That's kind of what he needs right now. I mean, look at Millen right now. She's like 230 critical damage, where Levi is 174. So once again, unless they make it so he gets a stat increase when they buff him up, if they do decide to buff him up. But if not, he needs some way to increase his critical damage because it's too low. Even if you crit, it might not even do a lot. So you need to make sure it does more damage. But yeah, boys, that's it for today's video. The AOT collaboration was a massive celebration for Gren Cross because this was the kind of the first collaboration to set things in motion. We did see with obviously Slime but slime was so different, and they really didn't have a set formula. And to be fair, this set formula that we have right now for collaborations didn't really start until the King of Fighters collaboration. So AOT was kind of like the first time they were experimenting with things, and they kind of flopped it, to be honest with you lot. So hopefully this time around they return it with a good banner, good new characters, but also give some obviously buffs towards the old ones, because they do deserve it. And I love to see them actually being played here, because even when they first came out during the actual Lost Faith meta, they weren't that playable. You never really saw them, so it was kind of a shame, right? So once again, it'd be better for everyone if you did some back then too. You can actually just get free buff characters, and these characters could be quite good, so we'll have to wait and see. So boys, let me know what you think of my actual predictions and what I think they should do with the character, and let me know what you would give the character, or if you think they're going to actually get any buffs. They might not, right? You never know. But boys, thank you for watching, and yeah, peace.